Mania.
Hello, Waldemar Sorychta. It's a pleasure for me to be doing this interview. Welcome to Mania.
Welcome, Rock Mania. It's a pleasure to me to make an interview with Brazil.
What are you doing nowadays?
I still do a lot. Actually, I never stopped doing a lot, just people stopped to talk about this. Basically, this year I have just done two bit bigger production, maybe not known bands in Brazil, but here in Europe, at least they kind of known. And I'm in a moment in about to go for it. I have three different bands. I never call something project because project is for me always something that you just do, how to say, with the left hand, something that you don't really care about. The project is for me something that someone calls you, do you want to do? Okay, let's do it. You do something and then it's on and it's off. And for me, everything I do, it's a band. I'm always with my own passion. I'm mostly also the songwriter and the producer of this band, so I can't call this projects. But I do at the moment three different things. But will not like to talk too much about this because that is all in progress. So I hope the first thing should be out like about end of the year, and it's going slowly into next year. And well, just 2 weeks ago, Dave Lombardo was visiting me. He played with Suicidal on a big festival. Then he played near my place where I live, and he was visiting me at my place. And we're still looking forwards to do something with Gripping, but it's to be honest, it's almost impossible to replace Gus. But on the other side, I don't feel also that we have to search for a replace, but just for move forwards with the music, because even with another singer, it will be still our music. And I think in the first place, to keep Gus alive, you shouldn't be silent. You should always do something. Only in this case, you keep Gus alive.
You both were good friends.
Yeah, I mean, he was like my brother. I mean, this is already being 8 this year. It's even gonna be 9 years ago, and that is still a big loss. And every day when the day is coming, I always take day off, sometimes even two, because I spend my time just with myself, to be with Gus, to be with the history. The first few years I couldn't even stand to watch or to listen songs, to watch old videos, because that makes me always crying. But after a few years I start to realize that you can't pull the clock back. You can't do it anymore. You have to move forwards. And I start on these days to celebrate Gus and to see him in the past, to be proud and happy that I still have the past with him, because it will be worse to not even have it at all.
Waldemar, could you talk about the Gripping?
Well, the story is kind of weird, and every band is trying to say, yeah, our history is weird. But I mean, when you just take a look at Gripping, there is an ex-Slayer drummer who was originally born in Cuba. There is an original punk rock singer from the 70s with original punk rock blood from the first moment punk rock, who comes from England. Then there is me, a German guy who has a lot of history, also not just of playing guitar, but also playing other instruments and producing bands. And our last bass player was from Canada. So basically, there is no way of having a band more international. And the great thing about us was always the point, when we met, we were unique. We were just, just one piece, but very, very original. We never care about having sound like this band or having this new view of music. We always did our thing, and I think each one of us has like a special talent and special sounding point. I think I will recognize Dave Lombardo straight after just 3 beats that he's playing drums. Gus' voice was also very, very special, and many people tell me also that my songs, or when I play guitar, you hear straight after the 2 3 notes that is me. Never to care about I have to be the fastest guitar player, I have to be the best looking guitar player. I just do what I believe it's me, and where I listen to this afterwards, and I always can say, yeah, that's me. The same I felt also always with Dave. There might be drummers, they have maybe better technique, but this power, this punch that Dave has, it's absolutely unique. And Gus has such a special voice. That is the point. That doesn't allow us to just look for a singer with this kind of voice, because you will not find it. Plus the point, he was a very, very strange, funny, and absolutely original guy. I hope you also had a chance to listen. We released last year EP with unreleased songs. Even when it calls Hostage to Heaven, it's not the version of Hostage to Heaven that was released on Power of Inner Strength. We always like to jam in a studio because, as I said, we love music. We don't like that much music business that is based all the time just on sales, to do this, wear this. This is not us. Our main point was always to just do music and to be honest with the music that we do. And that's why these 5 songs, they have been released on this EP called Hostage to Heaven, are unreleased songs. And the main point of it was to keep Gus alive, as I say. It's in memory of Gus. It's also written in very big letters on the cover. It's released on digital way, so everybody can buy it digital, and only very, very limited edition as a vinyl. That's a little bit shame, because many people ask me for CD or for something that they can hold in their hands, and we never get it out till today. Besides this limited edition on vinyl, and I think it will be not bad idea to release this one day as a CD. But as I said, the main point of this is the sales went so much down, nobody is buying, so nobody wants also invest money of doing something like this, and yeah, that's the shame of this business.
And your work as a music producer, how is it work?
Production is my second passion. How I came to this point, it's actually, I don't even know. The point was that straight the first production that I did was my very first band, Despair, in the year 86, 87. And Robert Kampf, who is or was the owner of Century Media, he told me basically the work you did is a production. And he asked me if I could imagine to go in the studio with a different band and work with them on music, on composing, on production. I said, I can try it. When it works, then it works. Then we can try more in the future. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But at least I tried. So my first production was Unleashed. That has very good reviews and was also good work inside the band with me together. So it just moved on. That was on the end also the point how I met Dave, through production and not through guitar playing. And many people after a while didn't even knew that I play guitar. They just put me only in the place as a music producer. And I see myself always first as a musician or especially even composer. I compose many songs, many songs in the year, and that is like my first passion, to compose songs. It doesn't matter which kind of music, if this is classical music, if this is even Latin American music with acoustic flamenco guitars, if this is punk rock, if this is music like Grip did. The most important thing for me is honest. It comes from my heart. It's something that it represents me, that is a mirror picture of myself in this music. Because sometimes when I listen to old songs, I can even tell which day I did it and which not. And so the mixture between me as a musician and me as a being interesting of all this way, how to work with equipment, what this knob is doing, what this knob is doing, make kind of interesting mixture about everything. Plus, to be a producer, good producer, I mean, you have to be a good psychological, or how you call it. You have to work with people, and you have to know the point, how to talk to them, how to put the best out of them without always saying this is great what you do, but to give them the point, I believe in you, I really think you can do it better, but what you're doing right now, it's already good. As I say, it's very psychological work. Sometimes I compare this. I mean, you're from Brazil, so you must be football fans, as probably 99.9% of people from Brazil.
Yes.
So it's a kind of close to compare to a coach, to a football coach of a team. You has a team, but on the end, you are in charge of all this team. You have to give them the feeling that you're also a friend. At the same time, you shouldn't be a touchable person, so every player is telling you what you have to do. You understand in a bit, because as I say, it's not easy to explain, but this whole mixture, this music knowledge, I think, when you can't play an instrument, and even when you have a good feeling about music, people will not have a huge respect about you. Not like when you, for example, when you have an idea, so like, can you try it that way? And it doesn't matter which kind of instrument, you take it with you and you play it straight to them. I think you have to show them why you think this is the better choice. And then when you show them the point, I think they understand also better. But I say, on the end, the mixture does it. And I learned in all these years how to work with different nations, which was the most easy part probably. Europe is very funny about this, because we have so many different cultures here. But as soon as you're in a studio, you realize people just want to do their music. You have sometimes, like, as I say, this psychological point to use this, how to talk to people. And it doesn't matter if they're from Finland and very quiet, or if they're from Italy and they talk and talk and talk, just to give them always the point, you understand what they say. And you have to understand, because when you don't, that you fake them, then you're not talking truth, and people are seeing. I mean, you're not working with them for 5 or 10 minutes a day. You spend mostly like 10, 12 hours a day for at least 3, 4, 5 weeks, depends, But with the time, came to this point. The technology changed in a very positive way, at least for this. Okay, I put it that way. The technology changed the music business in 2 ways. In the one way, in a very bad way, that everyone can get, even for free, some fucking stupid programs about recording music, buys like 10 microphones with no quality and thinks, now I can already record bands, and have no idea which frequencies and what he has to use to make a good possible record. On the other side, this is the point that, for example, like 15, 20 years ago, I would no way have a choice for this kind of budget to make productions with bands overseas. I mean overseas because, for example, 3 years ago, I produced a band even from Colombia, complete production with recording and mixing. And the point is, for the recordings, I came to Colombia. I brought my kind of equipment, microphones and all this stuff. And then the rest we did in Germany. And all this already possible today. 20 years ago, I will have to bring all the band from Colombia to Germany, which already the flights and the hotel will probably took you about 10,000 euros. And this is something that we don't need to care about this right now, because we have easier way to record, and even that works. For example, I had requests from already 2 bands from Brazil, but somehow, I don't know, it still didn't work. We're supposed to be done last year. One of the bands, Torture Squad. They asked me also a few times, and we already arranged everything, but something went wrong, and it was not possible. But what I try to say, that new technologies, the new microphones, new things that you don't need to take like 20 microphones with you. It's possible to make a really top production overseas. In Europe, this is no problem because the flights are not that far away. But even that production with Colombia worked fantastic. And this is for me the biggest point: to learn the culture, to learn the countries, and to learn people from different countries with their own musics. And I just love to do this. It for me is no favorite country, no favorite band. There are only stupid people that I don't like, and it doesn't matter in which country they are. And this is shitty music I don't like, and this is also, it doesn't matter in which country. But people that I work with, I just love to work in every way, in every country.
Have Grip Inc. played in Brazil before?
We're supposed to have once a tour in South America, but I don't know. That was something that went strange. To be honest, not many things at this time in South America did work very well. For bands, they're not very huge. For example, when you play places for 1,000 people, people got maybe the wrong PA system. They got the microphone wrong. So the organization was always, to say, terrible. It still be until today, which is probably not a question of the country, just a question of a guy, how he sees the point. And there are still be people, they're very unprofessional. And they are already many people right now. They're very, very professional. So at this time with Grip, there was not really many choices when you're not a huge band. For example, when you can bring everything with you. That tour I did was, it was already 7 years ago. I was playing the band Therion. I'm friend with Christopher since the beginning of the 90s. I was always playing some special parts in the studio, and 2009 or 2008, he asked me to join this band. I said, like, sorry, but I have too much my own thing. This is not my music in this point, but if you need me, I'm there because you're friend, and of course I will help you. So funny point is that I recorded this whole album with guitars, but live I play bass guitar because as I told him, I will not be part of this band. And then he called me like just a few weeks before the tour supposed to start and said that he has problem with the bass player, and if I can imagine and think that I could play this album with bass. So I said, like, yeah, I can do it. So I had not many days to learn, basically 10 days to learn 26 songs, I think. And then I went with them on stage, and we played only one show in Brazil, that was Sao Paulo. I just love to play. And I say, like, you find everywhere great people and everywhere assholes. But I felt also that especially South America, just not just compared to Brazil, also Colombia, also Argentina, there was even more this kind of fascinating passion, that maybe for many people in Europe get a little bit lost because sorry, when you have every week 2 3 different concerts, we have each month like a big festival somewhere, that people, when you have too much of something, you're not taking care so much. And you could see that in South America, people were more hungry for seeing bands live in the atmosphere, and in a people were euphoric. I really enjoyed this very, very much. I have no point that I can remember that something were negative. Just in some places, people warned me, don't walk too much, because I love to walk outside. As I say, when I'm in a different country, I'm not a person who is staying in a backstage room and waiting until he's playing. I always walk. I just every time I am somewhere away, even when I'm there for the 10th time already, I still enjoy to be a part of the city, of this country, with the food, with this mentality. Like, I enjoy the life of people. You find a great mentality everywhere, also bad mentality. As I say, what I also liked very much about Brazil, but this is also even before I was there. Also a big football fan. I mean, you might know, even in Brazil, my team Borussia Dortmund, because
Great.
because because we always used to have a good Brazilian people, and some of them came to Germany because we had one player who calls Dede, and he's loved in Dortmund like he would be born here. And he was basically like this kind of translator between the German mentality and the Brazilian mentality. And he brought to the people in Dortmund more this Brazilian style, while on the other side, to the players who came to Dortmund, he brought more the German mentality. And just say it that way, this is not even 3 days ago. I was in a big festival, not big, but in a festival in Dortmund, that, for example, there was Brazilian rhythms, Colombian music, and like this big multicultural thing, and especially based on African rhythms and on South American rhythms. And there was also Brazilian people, and when you see the rhythms, like when people dance and how people celebrate life, this is something that is just fantastic. Also the guys with Sepultura. I mean, big football fans, but also very, very, very honest, great musician. I liked them a lot.
What are your next steps?
I just finished the second production for this year. I'm having 3 separate projects with 3 separate music styles, because it will make nonsense for me to have one band with the same to have 3 bands with the same style. So I mix this, and I do complete 3 different things out of this. And as I say, good things take time. So now we have summer. Now I in a second process of songwriting and pre-production. So like until October, I want to have as many songs as possible. Are we talking about 3 projects, not about just one band? So I want to have for the 3 as everything done. So then I start one by one. So the first one should be out maybe already this year or beginning of next year. And then for next year, I will have already 2 on the hold list. And then also we're going to see, it's possible. That is very, very possible that this or latest next year, you will hear something from Grip Inc. again. You will have to check always my pages and see what I'm on. I have 3 different bands right now, and taking it seriously. I'm having fun doing music, but when I do something, I do it right. I'm not going to studio to make a party. I do the party after the studio, not in the studio. I hope to come soon to Brazil. It doesn't matter as a musician, as a producer, and just for also for people to say, don't be afraid. Like asking doesn't cost anything. There is nothing more can happen than there is someone says no or is not possible or not time. But there are many things became possible, and when I like music, there is many choices. Then I can make a compromise to make something happen that on the end might become even a very big thing.
Waldemar Sorychta, thank you so much for the interview, and Rock Mania is always available.
Thank you to everybody from Rock Mania. Hello to everyone, and keep it real. Heavy metal!
Rock Mania!